what you're thinking. Tell me about your feelings. Figure out the meaning on Cat Nation. Get into the moment. Share your inner feelings. Make a conversation on Cat Nation. Let's talk Cat Nation across the nation.
I'm Linda Scott, your host today for Let's Talk. So, our topic today is truly an awesome topic that everybody's going to be able to sit and converse at home. Our audience have some questions. We have a wonderful panel. The topic today is depression. Now, don't tell me I don't know nobody who's depressed, because you do. And I'm telling you because I know somebody who's depressed, and that is me. So, my panel here today is going to help us go through what we're going through and try to help us get to the real side of. So, let me start by saying or asking any one of my panelists, could anybody tell me what depression is?
Depression, yes. Depression is a depletion of dopamine and serotonin in the brain. So it's when the brain is not manufacturing these chemicals, and most of your decisions are being made from your brain stem, which is your fight or flight part of the brain. So all your decisions are emotional decisions. So depression ultimately is obviously a thought disorder, and it leads you into making emotional decisions versus logical decisions.
Okay. All right. I learned just a little bit more about that depression thing. So my thought patterns is unbalanced.
Exactly.
Is what you're telling me. Okay. Do everybody agree with that? So by me being unbalanced, how do I know I'm not the one that's balanced? Is there something or somebody could help me go and say, you sleep too much, you're not eating properly? How do I know? I mean, I think I'm doing good. It could be you that is not well.
Right. To some degree. I mean, if you're easily irritable, if you find yourself sleeping more than you normally do, you're late to everything, you're, you wake up in the middle of the night. These are just examples, of a person, or symptoms of depression. So these are things that you look out for. Are these my normal patterns? And if you realize that those are not your normal patterns, then you may be experiencing depression.
Okay, so, all right now, depression is real, and so am I. So with me saying that, I'm so depressed. I'm late. Yes, I do eat. So how can I fix this? Could anybody help me?
So he's saying that you're suffering from depression because you're human. Everybody's going to be late. Not everybody's going to want to eat all the time. And people are going to sleep. That's called being tired.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be tired. Being tired, it's normal. But depression is somewhat a state of mind. It's something that goes on in you. You're sad. Some people are sad. Some people get to the point they don't want to be around anybody. I get to the point where I don't want to be around anybody. I'm going to cope with depression. I don't want to be around anybody. I like to be in dark environments, be by myself.
Well, depression and being tired are definitely two different things. Two different things. I'm tired and I just want to go in and take me a nap because I've had a long day. The sun here in Houston, 105? Of course. I'm tired. I'm beat. I'm depressed because emotionally I've had something to interrupt my normal activity that I normally have. So there are difference in those two words. I mean, just major. You can't put those two in the same hat and say, okay, these are yours. All right. So how old are you, sweetie?
I'm 19.
19. Keep living. So, and why I said keep living is because at 19, normally you guys not tired because you're sitting with your games and you're doing, those type of activities. But once you start living and once you start having someone to interrupt your patterns where your mother say, oh, what's wrong, son? You're not playing your game today. So if you're not playing your game, then that means something has interrupt your schedule, your activities that you normally have.
Right.
When do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you work 40 hours a week?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a special kid, all right? Because one, you got a job, and two, you work 40 hours. Okay, so, but you can be tired because you just got off work. Now, on Saturday and Sunday, when you normally would help mommy in the kitchen or you help cut the yard or something like that, when she see that you're not doing those things, then it's something that's wrong with my child. You don't see it because it's your activity.
Right.
And you just decided, okay, well, I'm not going to do it today.
Right.
So therefore, someone else is looking on the outside of you and know you from the inside to know something is not balanced right here. Am I right or wrong? Somebody help.
Right, definitely.
So, I love you. I think you're just so handsome. I'm glad to know that you work, and I'm glad that you are here because you are helping some other child out there that's going through that, but you're going to let them know that you're here depressed, but somebody's going to help me get out of it. So you're here for help, whereas others won't receive help. And help me if I'm wrong, but we as African Americans don't seek help when we're depressed because it's just something that we don't do. We wasn't taught to do that. So I commend you for being here, and we're gonna get some more stuff going. So, Ms. Debbie.
Well, I was just going to share with the panel that, you're right about, African Americans tend to be a little bit hesitant when it comes to taking care of that emotional and spiritual deficit that they're going to, and the physical and the mental. And that's one of the things that we really have to drive home to our community, not to be afraid of it, because it's taking away from our natural power of existence. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I really try and share with people. It's your spiritual, your mental, emotional, and physical self that's all affected by the depression. So you got to start from the top and work your way down. And it does, as Chief said, it's a thought issue. To change your thought patterns to kind of get you to the place where you start looking at the situation that you're experiencing a little bit differently. That's why psychotherapy is important. You need to hear somebody else from the outside giving you an idea of how to change that mindset that you're having.
Okay, can I ask you a question? So I know everyone here on the panel knows something about depression. So can I ask you, do you have any personal, can we hear just a little?
I had 20 years of a disorder called dysthymic disorder. It is a chronic form of depression that lasts more than 2 years, and it affects you intermittently over a time frame. So the most important thing that I learned from it was after the third episode, in say the 20th year of it, my thoughts were contributing to the issue that I was having. And so I started to systematically change the way I thought about my marriage, my job, and my religion. And those were the three things that was affecting me. And once I started thinking about them differently, I was able to shift them out of my life.
We'll have to take a break and we'll be right back.
Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Show your inner feelings, let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation, let's talk. Share your views and thoughts now, share it with Cat Nation.
Welcome back. Now you won't believe the conversation that we had during the breaks, but we're going to bring some of those to you right now. Now we were talking about being depressed, tired, who's getting up on time. Monique and I were sitting here talking about it, and what did you tell me?
I am a fashion designer, and I suffered with depression for at least 20 years. I have had therapy for it. I know how to get up every day, comb my hair, take a shower, put my makeup on, not be late to work, and put that mask on that shows that I'm not depressed. It's to me, it wasn't so much I can just say, today I'm not going to be depressed. That doesn't happen. When you have a chemical imbalance, some people have to be put on medication, some people have to go to therapy, some people have to have both. You can have all the motivational people in the world around you trying to motivate, but again, a lot of people are depressed by situation. Once your situation changes, you could be homeless. I've been homeless. I've been in a domestic abuse relationship. I've been raped and molested. So I have some stuff going on. Doesn't keep me from getting up and living life every day. But when that's going every day, but once I'm done for the day and I'm sitting home and there's nothing to do, that's when it hits me. So everyone copes with their version of it in different ways. For me, it's an ongoing, every day, sometimes every hour struggle to go every day. Sometimes I just don't even want to live, and I tried to take my life twice.
Wow.
So it's not something that should be made light of. You have to know what works, what it is for you. We can't generalize it. I can tell you what it is for me and how I get through every day, but I'm still a work in progress. And I am, I'm mature, but I'm still a work in progress. So with that, I want to just say, even though I will try to dispense advice about it, I'm also still trying to get help and feedback on what I can do to continue to just want to go every day.
Well, let me ask this question, because looking at everybody in the room, you can't judge the book by its cover, as they said. None of you look depressed. And all of us sitting here saying, at some time or another, we have been depressed. So you can't look at you and go, girl, you depressed today? So I'm just, I don't have the words to say how I'm feeling right now about this thing called depression. I know we're going to beat it, but just looking at the outer look of everyone, nobody up here sits and look like they're depressed. So that's a good thing, huh?
Thank you.
I have a question from a young lady in the audience. Yeah.
I think that's one of the first things that we as depressed people learn how to do is to dress up our depression, because we try to mask and not look like what we're going through. I've actually been diagnosed with manic depression over the past 5 years, and it started when my nephew drowned in my backyard. It was a very traumatic experience, but before that I was also a victim of rape and molestation and incest, which means that it happened within the family. So one of the things that I try to do is to always keep my hair done, wear a smile, post 1 million selfies on Facebook, and look and appear to be happy. But deep down inside, I'm just torn. And it's one of those things where you can't look at somebody and read a label on their back to see that they're depressed. And I think that's one of the first things of depression is self-realization, realizing that you are depressed. Because like she said, my cure is not going to be the same cure as yours. What fixes it for me is not going to fix it for you. What helps me in my state of depression is actually helping others in their situations, because I feel like she said, why am I here? Why am I living? The moments that I feel like I want to take my own life, I use that as a chance to fix somebody else's situation. So I also find myself giving of myself, giving money, giving time, picking up my friends that don't have cars, buying clothes for other people instead of buying them for myself, because I feel like if I can help you look good, or if I can pick you up, that's picking me up. So that's my solution. And I also, a lot of people are ashamed or embarrassed to say that they're depressed. They don't want to be labeled as depressed. They're embarrassed, to take medication, because that's what I experienced. The minute I get into it with my sister, my cousin, or my homegirl, first thing they want to say, "Oh, you crazy. Go take your psych meds. You tripping today." And I might be tripping today, but that's the reality of it. I'm the doctor prescribed me Celexa. I call it my happy pill. I could take this pill and go to a funeral and not drop a tear. It's like chemically, it just stops you from crying. Like you literally have to squeeze the cry out. And I had to come to realization, it's just like a person with diabetes. They have to take insulin. I have to take this medicine to cope. I tried to wean myself off the medication, and it didn't work. I found myself getting into a deeper depression, because now I'm thinking, how can I do it without the meds? How can I do it without the meds? The pastor went as far as he was giving a sermon one Sunday after I had confided with him the night before in secrecy. And so he's preaching, and he's like, yeah, a lot of y'all have a problem giving tithes and offering, but you'll go give your copay to the doctor, and he'll prescribe you all these pills. You don't need the pills, you need the gospel. Well, guess what? Some people can fight their depression faith-based, but sometimes you still need that medication. So that's the first thing. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel down about yourself if you are prescribed the medication, and you deal with it on a basis in which you can deal with it. Once you feel like you can take yourself off the medicine or wean yourself off the medicine, but at the end of the day, depression is all about processed thoughts, how you process things, and how you're going to change your thought process, because one thing you never want to do to somebody that's depressed is belittle them, because what seems like a lifelong situation or a hard situation to them, it may seem like nothing to you. You'll be like, girl, you crying over that? But they really feel like they want to die inside.
Well, I can agree with you with the medicine. At the age of 13, my father was diagnosed with a form of leukemia. And my dad was my world, because that's who took care of me, like from little, and my mom was never there. So when they hid it from me that he only had less than a year to live, that's when he got diagnosed. And so I got real depressed, and I tried to kill myself, and I wrote a letter, but my dad had a relationship with God, and he said, go check on your baby. So he came in the room, and so, of course, I went to the hospital, and they gave me some medicines to control my mood swings and depression. But I never took the medicine, because when I did first take it, it made me feel like a zombie. And I was like, no, this is not for me. At that age, I was like, no, it's something else. So my form of medicine is I'm very goofy, and I love to make people laugh, because my dad always told me, no matter what you're going through, you have to help somebody else, because you don't know what they're going through, and they may be on the verge of ending their life, when even though you're going through something, you got God on your side, so God ain't gonna let nothing happen to you. So the fast forward, when my dad died in 2004, I thought my world was over. Like, I was about to kill myself again, because I was like, God, why you didn't take my mama and leave my daddy? Like, I'm so serious. But to sum it all up, if I didn't have a godmother that was God-fearing and prayed over me constantly, even when I wasn't in her presence, I don't think I would be here today, because all the odds were against me. And I was depressed until I graduated college in 2014, and I said I did it, because all my dad family turned their back on me when he passed away, and my mom family really didn't accept me because my dad was black. So I didn't have nobody but to the church, which is my godmom. So I was very depressed until 2014, when I said, God, I did it. well, I didn't do it, he did it, but I'm just saying I had to get grounded into the word of God. We go through things because we're going to be a testimony for somebody else. That's what makes us.
Absolutely. Wow, that's so. I mean, so many thoughts was going through my head when she was speaking, and we're here for a reason. No matter how many times we try to take ourselves out, you can't do it because it's not your time. He still have you here for a purpose. And then we learn what that purpose is. Like you know you're here to help someone else. So in learning what the purpose is, we could get up. It takes us a little while, but we get up and we move forward in reference to our day.
And I just wanted to comment those two ladies for standing up and sharing what they did, because it goes right back to that heart of a connection that you are trying to make to change something about the way you feel. And I just think that's amazing that both ladies talked about helping others and taking that energy and putting it out there even when you are suffering. It creates another kind of energy and it makes you feel good. You know, fake it till you make it. That's exactly what you're doing. And if you keep faking until you make it, you'll make it.
Right. And she did make it. You graduated from college and everything, so you did. Kudos. Yes.
Hi, I'm Toy Prater. What I see before me are depression survivors. My cousin didn't make it. And that's why I'm here. I wish that she was here so she can hear you guys' story. The licking didn't kill her. Depression did. Cocaine didn't kill her. Depression did. The house, the car, the man she had wasn't enough. You said it. Wasn't enough. So I applaud you guys, because you guys are depression survivors. Depression sucks.
I was angry because of what happened between my stepfather and my father, you know, with the rape and the incest. But I just didn't know how to deal with it. And I finally decided I need to see somebody. This is getting out of hand because I hadn't talked to my mother up until 2 years ago, because I was so angry with her because I felt like she did protect me. But about 3 years ago, I got diagnosed with major depression and PTSD. And I'm still going through it. I take my medicine every day, and I pray every day because I still don't know how to get through this.
I want to add to it, you know, I lost my best friend. You know, I was 24 years old. Came from an environment where we normally feel like, you know, we're going to die at 25 anyway. You know, from the inner city, I was an inner city kid, and, you know, running the streets and, you know, just doing music. You know, we rapped, I produced, and the day when I got the phone call that my best friend was killed, you know, as a man, you don't want to show the tears. You don't want them to drop. You're like, you know, you're gonna stand strong, and that's an issue with men with the ego. And it wasn't until I was drowning myself in liquor. I was drinking so much. I mean, I woke up with my head on the side of a toilet. I was drinking so much. You know, and you don't realize that you're going through this, you know, until you're in a situation like that. And that is what led me to my profession that I do now. and that's a personal trainer. Because while I was going through that, I started running. I would just wake up and at 3 in the morning and just run. I was living in downtown, right up the street from here, actually. And I would run around downtown. Just no shirt, didn't brush my teeth, nothing. Just put on shoes and went out. And I ran. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. From doing that day in and day out, I started feeling better about myself. I was actually able to look at myself in the mirror and look in my own eyes and finally see like who I was. For a long time, I wouldn't look in the mirror. I wouldn't even look. I couldn't look at myself for more than a minute. I couldn't even look at myself for more than 10 seconds.
I got you. I can look at you for 10 seconds.
Yes, Yes.
Here's my thing right here with the men on the panel.
Right.
Who told you you cannot cry?
I'll say it was my mother, because the entire time, if we did anything that got us in trouble, it's like, I'm going to beat you, because we didn't have that back then,
Right.
So it was like whatever's close. And the whole time that you're crying, it's like, well, you better not let one tear drop, because I'm going to really give you something to cry about.
Yes.
My dad told me, like, how we grew up, we didn't even have Band-Aids around the house.
Look at that.
We didn't have Band-Aids at the house, so I grew up kind of hard. Crying, that was unacceptable. My daddy will walk by us, see one of us crying, and hear about us crying. He'll walk by, tighten up. Oh man, that's for girls. Tighten up, man. But as I gotten older, I realized, man, I don't care. I'm not too hard for anybody.
Right.
I'm human. I'm gonna show my emotions. I'm not about to sit around all mad and sad. I'm gonna let the tears fall, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to release my pain,
right?
So I can cope with it. I can feel better about myself. Like you said, like to this day, I don't look at myself in the mirror. That's just one of my insecurities. Everybody has them, but still, I get compliments all the time. I'm not trying to sound conceited, but
you do. I look at you too, baby.
Yeah. But me, ask me, I'm the ugliest person on the earth.
We'll have to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Now share it with Cat Nation, let's talk. Tell me where your heart is, tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation, let's talk. Show your inner feelings, let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation, let's talk. Share your views and thoughts now, share it with Cat Nation.
Miss Linda, one of the things I would like to add to that is we've talked a little bit today about particular incidents, or, this traumatic experience happened to me in my life, or this person passed away, or this thing that I'm dealing with. And one of the things that I think about, I actually very suddenly lost my father. I know it's a bad thing now, the Cosby, but back in the day when the Cosbys were that family that we all looked at, that's what they called us. And I'm the oldest of 5. And so when we lost him, it was really something else, because it stopped this family. The next month, his mother passed. I'm originally from Chicago, so all of this was back in Chicago. 4 years later, I lost my mother. She died from an aneurysm, all again very suddenly. A few months later, her mother passed, my grandma. So I became the matriarch of this huge family, 13 siblings, 11 on one side, 13 on the other. And I came back to Houston alone. And I had to think, okay, I got all this education. People look at me a certain way. I have these children. I got a husband. Even today, I'm looking, and I'm honored to be sitting here with you guys. I really am. Because it's like, well, you know, you made it, you got it all. And Ms. Monique spoke about that. Thank you for your honesty and your transparency.
Thank you.
Because when we think we got it all, that's when it can strike. That's when it's right there. And that's when it's not just for us to look at that person who's taken the pill or who've reached out for help. Psychologist, I'm not a doctor, but I can help. I can help just by providing somebody to talk to.
Right.
And again, thank you all for sharing.
So let me, applaud. Let me ask this question.
Yes.
What is the difference between, and just listen to your statement, the difference between the strength, because we always hear, oh, we got to be strong, but who are we being strong for?
That's my
and
question.
what is strength?
Strength looks like someone that is capable of saying to themselves and to the world around them, I need help. That's what strength looks like. It looks like someone that is able to stand within themselves and be honest with themselves, to say to themselves, I need help, and to say that to the world around them without fear of judgment, without fear of being manipulated or feeling vulnerable. You have to be in a space to say that, hey, I need help, because at the end of the day, we're all human. Life happens. I've never experienced depression that I know of, but I've had other episodes with anxiety and what have you, never knew. But I wanted to address some things that Debbie and Chief said earlier. Sometimes when we look at ourselves, we have to understand we're all humans. We're all living this life, this experience, right? Life happens to all of us. So at the end of the day, God said that in your weakness, he will become strong, right? And that strength lies within you. Within all of us. It's within all of us. But the strength doesn't happen. It doesn't manifest until we're able to open up ourselves and be honest with ourselves first. Regardless of what people think or feel about us, we have to open ourselves up. And black people, we have to break that stigma of I'm not a man because I cry. My dad used to beat me for crying, but I didn't stop crying, and I told him I wasn't going to stop because that's just who I am. If it hurts, I'm going to cry, and I'm still a man. Okay, and there's nothing you can judge me on with that. But what I wanted to get to with these two statements that they had made earlier, he talked about fitness, and I think she brought up something with diet or something. Somewhere I heard diet or what have you. This young lady brought up the thing about the medicine, and then someone said about spiritual, I think. It takes every single aspect that we've brought up for us to deal with the depression. It's not just one answer. It'll never be one answer, because there are billions of people that live on this earth. And somebody said what works for one works for the other. But I wanted to address something. Frequencies. A lot of times you have to pay attention to your eye gate and your ear gate. What are you allowing in? What kind of movies are you watching? What kind of music are you listening to? Now, that does not mean you can't, but I'm saying be a good steward over your body. If you know you're dealing with, I deal with things, and I personally take an inventory on what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, and the people I'm allowing to speak into my life. You can't allow people when you're in a depressive state, or even when you're in a normal state, to speak into your life things that they believe you to be. You have to know who you are. And the only person that has that answer is you. The only person that has that answer. The other thing, not only dealing with the eye and the ear gate, pay attention to the foods you're eating. Research. Understand what food is. Don't just buy into what media is telling you. Because if you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with sickness, a lot of people don't realize the food you eat every day can cause you to be depressed, because it changes your chemical imbalances, your chemical formation. So tannins, research tannins, T-A-N-I-N-S. Research lectins, L-E-C-T-I-N-S. Research those things. You will find also, there are two things that we eat on a daily basis that messes with our bodies and we don't even know it. And the government is not going to tell you. World systems are not going to tell you this. Sugar.
I'd like to add another aspect of what Kevin just talked about. And, you know, I personally have not really been clinically depressed. I've known people who are. And I want to talk about some of the things that Chief Muhammad mentioned at the beginning about thought and the emotions that follow that. As a kid growing up in the 60s, getting beat and told that you can't cry and all of that, I felt worthless. I mean, I felt totally worthless. And I think at the core of some depressions could be the fact that you're not making a mistake, you are a mistake. You're not making a mistake. You didn't do anything wrong, you are wrong. And I used to live like that as a child, where I thought I was totally unlovable. Now, some kind of way, there was something in me that allowed me to move past that. And that's the part, regardless of diet, regardless of all of this other stuff, if you're not right on the inside, all of that stuff is not going to work on its own, because it takes all of it. It takes the spiritual, the mental, the physical, the whole thing. And everybody's been talking about being human. I want to give another paradigm. This is the paradigm, and for those of you that don't know what a paradigm, it's a mindset. This is my belief. I am not a human being having a spiritual experience. I am a spiritual being having human experience.
Bless, man.
There is something in all of us that's bigger than what we go through, including depression. Now, I can give you examples of reasons to be depressed. I had a 1-year-old grandson that died in 2013. Now, do you think I didn't want to ask God, what the hell is this about? That was by far the worst thing as an adult, or as a human being. I turned 62 this year. Thank you, Oprah. But I turned 62 this year, and I've lived through a lot of things. And the thing that I've always believed in is the fact that I have to start somewhere and do the work within myself. And as Kevin mentioned, if I can't do it by myself, I need to reach out to somebody. I need help. And we can start getting better. We're not striving for perfection. We are all perfectly imperfect.
That's it.
If you think you're a perfectionist, get over the fact you're not.
Right, absolutely.
And if that's why you're depressed, maybe that's your answer. I don't know.
Mine's a little different. I just wanted to kind of ask a question, and then I also wanted to make a statement. My question is, mine's different. I didn't have a death. I wasn't raped or molested. Nothing. I just woke up one day from a broken heart and didn't know who I was looking at. And so I don't believe in medicine, not even aspirin. I don't believe in it. I believe it's all here to break us down, just like the sugar and everything else has been brought up. So it led me down a real destructive road. But I bounced out, which is something that everyone does, but only so that I could tell my story. But what would y'all suggest for the people that can't just bounce out, that don't believe in medicine, or maybe don't go to church, or or what would you say?
The first thing I would add to your daily regimen is 20 to 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise, okay? Because ultimately, it's about the chemicals in the brain. And exercise allows those chemicals to be manufactured, okay? So, and to add another stat to that, to add to the young lady who mentioned weaning off of the medication, I didn't want to lose this. If you're weaning off the medication, it's always good to add that exercise in there, because exercise, that 20 to 30 minutes, accounts for 60% of your antidepressant, of a mild antidepressant.
Okay, so I just wanted to add something, and it was back to what you said at the beginning, where all of our thoughts come from our brainstem, which means every thought or every decision we make is emotional. The fight or flight. Yeah, so we only have two options. That's why people run when they get pulled over, or stay, Okay. Yeah, true. Okay. So, but the killer in a lot of us is what we believe. They say. Well, who is they? Our parents may have heard something. I read something in a book, and I won't even let my kids eat, red M&Ms. So now they're going to not let their grandchildren, but why? They say. So we got to be careful with the they says, because, so they say, get out your feelings. Well, that's all we are, is feelings. So we are wired that way. We have 5 senses, And it's so imperative that we have all 5 of them. If we're missing one, that another one is heightened. So I just want to say, y'all take heed to that. Don't let people tell you to get out of your feelings. Stay in them and make the right decision.
Definitely. I want to add to the feelings aspect of things as well, because the emotions, the logical thought should be enhanced, empowered by your emotion. You shouldn't make the emotional decisions in life. It should be a logical decision with emotion and feeling added to it. Yes, yes.
And I want to add to what he was saying. It's a balance of both.
Yeah.
And I just want to give you guys a visual of what it looks like to be someone who was suicidal, someone who was on medication, who was taking sleep meds that are diagnosed for schizophrenic, so I could knock myself out at night. Okay? This is the face of a person that decided one day, I'm done. I want my life back, and I was on the floor, and I said, God, this is not my life. And I made that mental decision to connect with spirit, with God, or whatever you think God is. And you're going to fix this with me, because I can't do this anymore, because I'm going to die, and I don't want to die. So this is, being part of this really is empowering for me, because that's the message that I want to tell people, that if you really, really want to be completely healthy in your spirit, in your mind, and your body, and your heart, it is possible, because anything is possible with God.
Go ahead.
I'm being led by the Spirit to say what I'm going to say. Don't let your setback cause you to sit back, but prepare for your comeback. Information without application leads to frustration. What we went through, whatever it was, there was purpose to what we went through. When you alluded to what you said, I refer to the scripture that says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulation, also knowing that tribulation works patience. Patience experience, and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our heart by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. That's Romans 5, 3-5. Now, unto him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power at work within us, we got to work what's in us. So, I know for me, that's Ephesians 3:20. For me, the things I went through, the things I experienced, God took it, flipped the script, and took my natural, used it, put his super on it for his glory. So whatever you have experienced, it can be used and it can benefit someone else. Don't hide the story.
I know I'm 14, but you're going to learn a lot from me. What's your name again? Nice to meet you. I actually go through everything you go through already. I actually experienced what you experienced. Everything what you went through, I went through too. You pretend like there's no box, so you talk what you feel, you know? I feel you. I feel everybody. I feel the talk right now, you know? I'm not a pastor, I don't preach, but I can tell you one thing. I've been down in hell one time. I can tell you that it's not pretty down there. I lost my father. He actually died in my hand. You know, doctors actually pronounced that I'm dead. And the other morning, I actually woke up. They were surprised. I didn't get to know him that well. So that's how music came around, you know. So right now what I'm trying to do is express my feeling through the music. And not anger, but I mix it up to let everybody understand what I'm going through, and what everybody needs to know what I'm going through, so it can help heal other people. Because you don't want to be selfish. You see, in life, it brings a number, and that number, what comes to you, it counts 1, precision, 2, dedication, 3, hard work. You see, those 3 things cover everything in life: understanding, knowledge, and moment. See, you got to spend your moment with everybody before the time's up. We need to look in ourselves and look at the inner self, which is higher than us. Because when you meditate, you bring yourself to a higher state. When you bring yourself to a higher state, you attract more. You see, how you dress, what you said, the music, what you listen to, the movies that you watch, that's poisoning your inner mind. Media tries a lot of stuff to get you to attract stuff that you don't want. Movies that you watch, they only just poison your mind. It doesn't only bring you down, but it helps to kill you. I tell you, when you dig a grave for yourself, very stupid of you. And you're not as stupid, me a Jamaican a dunce. You see? So the thing go. So that's just what I want to cover up, you know? And yeah, next time when you all depressed and stuff, don't just look in the mirror and say, yeah, that's me, I'm good. You don't just say you're good. You look at him and say, I'm great. You know? That's it.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Let's talk. Share your views and thoughts. I'll share it with Cat Nation. Cat Nation. Let's talk. Tell me where your heart is. Tell me what you're thinking. Cat Nation. Let's talk. Show your inner feelings. Let's discuss the meaning. Cat Nation. Let's talk. Share your views.
We don't talk like this. Did we talk like this about around the table at the 4th of July? No. Did we know who was depressed in our family?
No.
Nope. Because we spending too much time looking good, looking bad. Hashtag.
Looking
good, feeling bad. Looking bad.
Yeah.
We have it on the inside. To us, we look bad. I'm this. I'm not worth this. On the inside, but we spending time looking good.
To just like she said, you have to build a support system. If you know you are that person, that somebody is coming to you and they're telling you they are depressed, do not say why. Do not say, girl, don't worry about that. Do not say, it's not a big deal. It's all a big deal to a depressed person. It is a chemical imbalance. You cannot, I'm a vegetarian, I do not eat. It does not mean that I am not depressed. I was a size 0, I was a model, I had calendars, I now write books, I have a TV show, I'm a fashion designer. None of that can keep the nightmares from coming at night.
Right.
So sometimes just don't tell people what they should do. Just because it worked for you don't mean it's going to work for them. What you do is acknowledge their feelings. Don't say don't feel like that. Or don't worry about that. Or just let them acknowledge their feelings. I take myself out of it every day. I would not be sitting here if I didn't. So everything is not for everybody.
Right.
If you know you're that person, and that person is coming to you to lean on. If I'm coming to you and I say I'm not having a good day, then just say I am sorry you're not having a good day. What can I do to help you? Not, oh, you need to go do this. Oh, you need to go that. What you need to do is not talk to me right now because I said I'm not having a good day. Can you be a friend and let me not have a good day?
Right.
Let me get it out. And then we can talk about me. I'm going to say, let's go look for venues. Let's go look for fabric. Because he's one of my co-designers, so I'm a designer. Like, I got a team of people depending on me to not break down every day.
Right.
Everybody depending on me. I don't have that. Do you understand? So I have to get on my knees and pray. It's nothing else.
Yeah, I have done groups like this, but in a very type of small arena and specific topics. But when you were talking about telling your story, first of all, I want to say I feel privileged to have heard the stories of people tell about their depression. I've never really been in a setting like this before. And I think it's Brene Brown. She says, everybody, don't tell your story to everybody because everybody's not worthy of hearing your story.
Absolutely.
And I just thank all of you for letting me be worthy of hearing this. And another thing that I do, I purposely do something positive every day, write, post on Facebook, speak inspirations, things like that. And one of the things that came to me just recently, and I want everybody to hear this, especially people that have dealt with depression, and it's the fact that you're not a product of your past. You're a product of your choices. Now, I'm not saying you caused your depression. Now, don't hear that. What I am saying is that in this present moment, right now, you can choose to do something different. Now, our habits are a son of a gun. Because our habits have caused us, and they keep us entrapped. And unless we purposely take responsibility to do something different, that we can create some new habits that can take us out of things. And so I believe in hope. I'm a very hopeful person. And I think there's hope for everybody. There's hope for everybody who's dealing with life issues. There's hope for everybody who's dealing with depression. You know, stuff happens, you know, and that happens to all of us regardless of whether it manifests as depression or not. And just remember, every day there's a stimulus and there's a response. Now, a lot of us, there's a stimulus and there's a react. But think about it. When you react, you're reacting from the past. When you respond, you're saying, wait a minute, let's breathe. Let me calm down. And there's a space in between that stimulus and response. And that's the greatest gift we have, and that's choice.
Well, this has been a beautiful afternoon. We have learned so much about depression, how it looks, how it gets started, and how to end it. So with all that said, we're looking forward to seeing you on our next show. I'm Linda Scott, and thanks for coming to Let's Talk.
Finally making it, the feelings, emotions falling hard with my first love. Tears ringing, vibing with the crowd. I love it, I love it. Every time I dance, every time I sing, it's just me being me. I'm her dream catcher, I'm not letting go. I'm her stage lights, make it glow. I'm her dream catcher, I'm her dream catcher. Reminiscing on this journey, seeing just how far I've come. Wasn't easy, countless cities playing, had the struggles, but I love it. Every time I dance, every time I sing, it's just me being me. I'm her dream catcher, I'm not letting go. I'm her stage lights, make it glow. I'm her dream catcher, dream catcher. Since the age of 2, I've been building this reality. I reached deep inside, caught my dreams. I'm a dream catcher, I'm her dream catcher. Some people think that the physical things defines what's within, but I've been there before. But that life's a bore, so full of the superficial. 'Cause some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, and some just want everything, but everything Yeah, if I ain't got you, yeah. Some people search for a fountain. The promise is forever young. Some people need 3 dozen roses, and that's the only way to prove you love them. Hand me the world on a silver platter, and what good would it be with no one to share, with no one who truly cares for me? And some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, and some just want everything, but everything means nothing. Yeah, if I ain't got you. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, baby. Some people want diamond rings, and some just want everything, but everything means nothing. Yeah, if I ain't got you, yeah. If I ain't got you with me, baby, see, nothing in this whole wide world don't mean a thing. If I ain't got you with me, baby. Thank you very much, y'all.
Let me hear it. Tell me what you think.